Hello and thanks for joining me in Sport Pilot James Glory on another exciting episode of Sport Vibe on TNT Work. We'll bring you exciting and latest sport happenings across the world of sport every Tuesday. This week won't be an exception, so I would implore you to please stay tuned because we'll be right back shortly after this break. Welcome back. It's a beautiful Tuesday, and what a way to start your career as a young man in the world of tennis. Talking about Jacob Mandzik defeating Novak Djokovic in the finals of the Miami Open. The 19-year-old was able to defeat his idol Novak Djokovic to win his first title at the ATP, and particularly in the world of tennis. The world number 5th was defeated by the 54th in the ATP ranking to win the Miami Open. It's going to be an interesting night, or an exciting one, for that man who was able to defeat his idol. You remember that feeling to be able to win your major title for the first time against one of the person that you adore the most in the world of tennis. Novak Djokovic being defeated by the 19-year-old man, and this means that he's having an exciting year already in the world of tennis, coming from the 54th position to defeat the 55th position in the world of tennis, and one of the greats in the world of tennis to win your first major tournament in the world of tennis. But let's digress from the world of tennis and talk about football, as we witnessed so many interesting matches during the week. And during the weekend, we start from the Italian Serie A, where we saw Juventus winning their first match under their manager Igor That they were able to defeat Girona 1-0 to get the honeymoon started in the Italian Serie A. Their eyes are on the Champions League spot, and they'll be hoping to play in the Champions League next season under their new manager. Let's see if it's going to make a huge difference after Juventus was able to sack Mota in the process of securing the Champions League football. And also still in the Serie A, we talk about Inter Milan, who are currently at the top of the Italian Serie A. They maintain their spot after their victory against Udinese during the weekend. They continue to maintain their spot after 30 matches being played in the Italian Serie A. Though we know that Napoli are mounting pressure on Inter Milan in the Italian Serie A, but they don't look to be stopping anytime soon, as they got a win that they think they deserve in the Italian Serie A. But we can take nothing away from Napoli also, who were able to defeat the arch rival of Inter Milan. AC Milan were defeated by Napoli 2-1 during the weekend, as Napoli keeps mounting pressure on Inter Milan in the Italian Serie A right now. Who will be winning this between them after 30 matches? Only 3 points between Inter Milan and Napoli. Antonio Conte will be looking to win that tournament with Napoli in his first season as a manager of Napoli, and let's see how far they'll be able to go under Antonio Conte. Will Napoli be able to defeat Inter Milan in the title race to win it this season? And also, we will be seeing Napoli winning it, or we'll be seeing Inter Milan winning the Italian Serie A this season. But you can take nothing away from Napoli also, who has mounted pressure on them, and they have inflicted more pain on their rival AC Milan, as AC Milan currently occupies the 9th position in the Italian Serie A this season. They are out of the Champions League. They're out of the Champions League spot. And as things stands right now, AC Milan might not be playing in any European competition next season if they fail to qualify and proceed in the Italian Serie A. 30 matches has already been played in the Italian Serie A, and over the weekend also we saw Fiorentina defeating Atalanta 1-0 to mount pressure and fight for their spot in the European competition. They were able to defeat Atalanta 1-0. The man in form, where you talk about Kane, was able to find the back of the net for Fiorentina, as they are sitting ahead of AC Milan Milan in the Italian Serie A. Right now, it's going to be an interesting one in the Italian Serie A, one of the competition in the world where you want to see who will be winning it this season. And also talking about football, we travel down to Germany where we talk about the Bundesliga, where the defending champion Bayern Leverkusen are not giving up without a fight in the Bundesliga this season. They have been able to reduce the gap between them and Bayern Munich to 6 points. You remember that it was 8 points gap initially between Bayern Munich and Bayern Leverkusen this season, but they have been able to reduce that gap this season, and they are not giving up without a fight. They are saying if they will be able to defend their champion right well at the end of the Bundesliga season. And also talking about the Bundesliga, you know that Bayern Munich will be open to win it this time under Vincent's company, and Harry Kane will be open to win his first major tournament in the world of football. It's going to be a sad one not to see Harry Kane winning it, or probably seeing Bayern Leverkusen coming from behind to win the title that they are defending this season. It's going to be a sad one for Harry Kane, but I would advise him, if he fails to win that tournament, he should find his way back to England and probably play for Liverpool, where it will be easy for him to break the record of Alan Shearer, where we saw Alan Shearer over the weekend also celebrating with Newcastle as they were able to win their first major tournament in 70 years. Alan Shearer will be hoping that Newcastle will continue with that same form, but I will be hoping that if Harry Kane fails to win the competition in the Bundesliga, he should find his way back to the Premier League to break Alan Shearer's record in the world of football. And also in the world of football, let's travel to the country that we really go, talking about the Turkish league, where we saw Besiktas defeating Galatasaray in the Turkish league. It's going to be an interesting battle between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce right now as the league gets intensified. But quickly, let's go on a very short break, and when we right back, we continue from where we stop.
JK Royal Signatures, a blend of African fabric.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were in Turkey. I have not left Turkey presently. We talk about Besiktas defeating Galatasaray 2-1 to end their 27 matches unbeaten in the Turkish league. Is an interesting one, as we saw the former manager of Manchester United doing another former manager, Jose Mourinho, the manager of Fenerbahce, a favor to reduce the gap between them and Galatasaray. Right now, it's just 6 points between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, and Jose Mourinho will be open to close on that gap, as Fenerbahce has a game in hand, meaning that Galatasaray has played more games than Fenerbahce in the Turkish league, as we'll be seeing them mounting pressure on each other. Who will be winning the Turkish league this season? With Jose Mourinho be able to win the Turkish league this season? And talking about Besiktas also, who are currently sitting in the Champions League spot, the 4th position in the Turkish league this season. Is going to be an interesting one to see who will be winning the Turkish league, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done a former manager of Manchester United, Jose Mourinho, a huge favor, and we'll be watching this to the very end of the competition. And talking about another interesting competition that is getting so intense in the world of football right now is the Spanish La Liga. Barcelona are yet to be defeated in the year 2025. Barcelona has continued their fine form in the year 2025 after being able to defeat Osasuna. They were able to defeat Girona 4-0 in less than 72 hours in the Spanish La Liga. They are ahead of Real Madrid, who were level on points with them previously before their match against Girona. Real Madrid are also sitting in the 2nd position, 3 points behind Barcelona in the Spanish La Liga, an interesting one by Barcelona, who are not taking their feet off the gas this season, and they will be hoping to win the Spanish La Liga under Hansi Flick, where they have been able to score so many goals right now in the Spanish La Liga. But in the Spanish La Liga also, you know that Real Madrid were able to win their match against Leganes, and this means that Kylian Mbappe has been able to score 33 goals for Real Madrid in his debut season, equaling the record of his idol Cristiano Ronaldo in Real Madrid's colors. It's going to be an interesting one for us to see him break the goals that has been scored in a debut season by Real Madrid player, and the highest right now is 37, and he's just 4 goals away from breaking that particular one. And I know Kylian Mbappe is equal to the task of breaking the record of the most goals scored by a Madrid player in their debut season. It's going to be an interesting run in the Spanish La Liga, as we know that Atletico Madrid failed to defeat Espanyol, leaving the race to Real Madrid and Barcelona at the top of the Italian Serie A. Though this Premier League was not played during the weekend, but we witnessed the FA Cup tie between Manchester City and Bournemouth, and we also saw Aston Villa being able to defeat the side that they played in the FA Cup, and also Crystal Palace proceeding to the semi-finals of the FA Cup after defeating Fulham 3-0. An interesting outing in the FA Cup as the semi-final looks set, as we'll be seeing Manchester City taking on Nottingham Forest. We'll be seeing Aston Villa taking on Crystal Palace in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Quite an interesting one in the world of football right now. This is the 7th time in a row that Manchester City has made it into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Will they be winning the title they were denied by Manchester United last season in the FA Cup? Aston Villa in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, will they be able to win it with Marcus Rashford this time in the world of football, or will be seeing Crystal Palace winning it this time around? Nottingham Forest are not underdog this season in the world of football. Currently, they occupy the 3rd position in the Premier League, and they are facing Manchester City that they have defeated already in the early stage of this year in the FA Cup semi-finals. Will they be able to do that again to defeat Manchester City to proceed to the finals of the FA Cup? You remember that they have been able to proceed to this stage of the competition via penalties, where they have proven to be dominant in the world of football. Nottingham Forest versus Manchester City in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. An interesting match to watch out for, and we'll be seeing an upset in the semi-finals of the competition, as all we are leading to Wembley this time around in the world of football. And this is the length at which we'll be going on this week's episode of Sport Vibe on DNT Work. For more news and sports stories, follow us across our various social media and do that Sport Vibe on DNT Work. Remain a law-abiding citizen. Enjoy your week and stay safe. Thank you.